fact, now that I think about it, the sun, we're told, is a big gaseous ball burning in space in a vacuum. By the way, since we're on the subject of vacuums, fire, the element by which the sun exerts its energy, and I don't care if it's nuclear fission or what, it's still fire, needs what element, folks, in order to continue to burn? Oxygen.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what this job does to my sleep schedule. Gonna get quickly into it, having a debate with a guy called BigPigSlapper at Oink. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him before. He's ready live on his side, so let's just go over there. Okay, hello BigPigSlapper at Oink. I am here, how are you?
What's going on? Doing good, doing good. Yeah, let's just have some fun, present the physical proof, and go see, just like science books that were written by a man we're never going to meet, we've never seen. We just get images of who they say that man is, just like the religious guy. The man they proclaim as Jesus Christ, that ain't Jesus Christ. That's one of the second Pope's sons, Caesar Bulgaria or something. Because we all learn from a book some man wrote, we've never seen, we're never going to meet. We just got to trust what's in them books. Let's see what I found in my book. You mind if I go ahead and start?
No,
got anything to say?
Would you mind first, just for the sake of the people watching on my side, would you mind just telling them why you became a flat earther? And then we can get into any of the discussion that you like. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back late 2016, mid 2016, up somewhere in 2017, I heard about flat Earth. I think people are stupid. There's no way the Earth is flat. Dad was in the Air Force. I always wanted to fly an Air Force jet. Then I started, the astronauts are awesome. They get to go places nobody's ever going to get to go. So, you know, I was a space junkie. Heard about flat Earth, and this fella come on and said Bible verses that prove flat Earth. I'm like, whoa, here, Buckwheat. You claiming the Bible? You best show me. Now I was talking to the video. I'll be doggone. He showed me. And I didn't pull up Ezekiel, but you can look it up. Enoch. We're going to look at some mountains. We're told tectonic plates cause mountains. The Bible says there's trees that reached up to the heavens, thousands of feet, maybe miles wide. I'm going to look at some of them. But I just want to present what I physically went out and seen and compare it with my textbook to the textbook we all wrote up. All right, that's all I got to say.
So it would be fair to say that the reason you're a flat earther is mostly religious.
No, not religious. I'm not religious because
Well,
I've seen religion
based on the
on
Bible.
YouTube.
Okay, well, would it be better to say it's based on the Bible? Yeah.
Yes. Based
Okay.
on, let's go one step further. Based on the Word of God. The Bible is flawed, deeply.
I'm aware.
Lies, deception, scattered throughout that book. Catholics gave us the book in the Council of Nicaea. Catholics decided what was in that book. The very same Catholic every church uses across this country, I know, uses the very same doctrine. All across it, they just drag out different things they want to believe out of that book. But if you search the words of God in John and Matthew and Revelation, you can see the word of God in that Bible. The Bible is not the word of God. That's why I do not claim religion, because I've seen religion on YouTube, and the religion on YouTube, pitiful.
Okay. And you understand, for the purposes of the conversation, obviously, I don't have a belief in God. So I base my positions on empirical evidence and things that I have tested myself and seen and experienced throughout my life.
Yes, sir. I understand that.
Yeah. So, okay. But yeah, feel free to present what you like, and then we can discuss it.
Okay. Now, y'all say, when I say y'all, I call them globies. I say globe shield, but I ain't going to say that. Talk to you, globies. They say 3 miles, a boat starts going out of our sight. But yet a mountain, when you do the math, should be out of our sight. We're going to look at the proof of what we're told. Okay, a boat standing at sea level, yeah, I know, 3 miles. And I know about the tangents. I understand that too. Now, 3 miles, a boat goes out of our sight, starts to go out of our sight. Here's all, you can do all that. The math, yeah, I understand this. There's the 8 inches per 8 inches times a mile squared. We get all that. We understand this is supposed to be the drop in feet and miles in 100 miles. All right. We understand all that. We all agree on this.
Well, when you say the drop, what it means is from a tangent point of the surface, of course.
An arc. Yeah, an arc. Because the way the globe is made up, we're always in the center of the curve, because it's a constant curve. So I'm gonna use car lingo here too. Like I said before we was talking, I understand physics and weight, because it's not a quote planet, but we're orbiting at a very high rate of speed. All right, I understand it's in the ballpark, and a globe is a constant curve. Wherever you're standing on this supposed globe, we're in the center of the curve. So if we're standing where we are and we're 90 degrees to the ground under our feet,
we're always at the top of the globe.
We're going to use it now. We're looking.
Rather than say the center of the curve, the correct way to say it would be that wherever we are standing for us is the top. Even though top isn't right because there's no up and down in space. But okay. That's fair enough. The correct numbers when we're talking about curve obviously would be 1 degree per 69 miles. Right? That you understand that?
All right, yeah. I've heard that, yeah. See, I'm not looking down. When I was saying I'm standing, I'm in the apex of the curve. I'm 90, my feet are parallel, my eyes are running with supposedly the ground under me. I'm looking 90 degrees from the ground I'm standing on. I'm looking at it right angle. Well, actually, I'm looking at the same angle. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My eyes are pointing straight out. I'm not looking down. Now, in 120 miles, we're going to go look at the map. Let's go look at the map from, let's see, we understand that. All right, here, 2,500 foot up. We're going to get to the tangent here in a minute, too. I'm 2,500 foot up on the observation tower. That's from sea level. 120 mile distance.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I can click easily. I got different tabs. All right, let me get this open. All right. Yeah, I've already got that one. Talking about, and here's the tangent. Here's the tangent. I don't know why I didn't make it no bigger, but you divide that, well, a little over half, 61 miles, they say, is the horizon line. Now, it says here, I wish it would show the picture, because it says hidden height is still 2,300 foot. So even when I'm 2,500 foot up, there's 2,303 foot of missing objects beyond the curvature of the Earth, supposed. It's like this. See, over here, I hope it shows that picture better. So, see, I wish it would show that picture. I might have to post these pictures individually. So, Mount Mitchell, we're fixing to look at Mount Mitchell, North Carolina. 120 miles away. This is with a sample. Well, that's the picture of the picture. That's the little plaque there on the top of the observation tower. 120 miles away. And if you do the math, as it is at sea level, it comes up to 120 times 120 times 8 divided by 12, 9,600 foot from sea level.
And what height was this taken?
I was at 2,500 foot where this picture is taken.
Right. So,
and we're looking at 120 miles. We're looking at 120 miles.
And what are the refractive conditions that you're in? The temperature gradient, the pressure gradient. Have you taken that into account so we can figure out what the path of light is doing?
It was. I wasn't about to die sweating, so it was fall.
Okay, but what I mean is, were you aware of the difference in temperature and pressure between where you are and the target thing you're looking at? Because any variations in the temperature as you're going along will affect the refractive conditions. So, of course, when we're looking at observations like this, we have to know what the atmospheric and refractive conditions are so that we can calculate what the path of light should be doing. Because, yeah, you're right. The things you're showing are based on a globe Earth of an expected radius. But the calculations you've done don't include any kind of refractive conditions, which are extremely important because our atmosphere is extremely refractive. And I know when you talk about the amount of missing drop as you go further, it seems more and more. But the way to think about it is what the light is actually having to do. And let's say something is 69 miles away from you. All that light has to do is bend 1 degree for you to be able to see it. So that observation you said was what, 120 miles away?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, the light, the curve between you is about 2 degrees. So for the light to go from one point to the other, it only has to bend about a 2 degree arc to be able to go from that position to your eyes. And that's totally normal on Earth with an atmosphere with a gradient that we have.
Yeah. It was very nice across the state for this time of year, unless they send a hurricane never makes to the mountain. It was nice statewide. Yeah, atmosphere is probably the same here as it was. They're a bit higher up. But no, that 2 degrees ain't going to change a couple thousand foot. Because see, Mount Mitchell is not as tall as the curvature. So it would be behind the Earth.
Okay. I see the confusion.
So there's no way that should be in there's no, because now look, if I'm here, now I'm at the top of the curve. Now it's still curving. That means it's behind the curve and not even be in the spectrum of light I'm looking, because the light apparently by the globe, the sun has to go around. It has not made it to that point yet. Okay. So the light I'm looking at has not made it there yet.
So the confusion that you're having is the confusion that you're having is thinking about the light just from the object, but it's not just the object. the light of everything. So the
From
horizon.
around. Yeah.
No, but right. So the way that we see is because light comes to our eyes, right? Whether that's from a source or it's reflected off of something, the way that we see that is because the light is coming to our eyes. The light has come to our eyes not just from the mountain, but from the horizon, the ground all around it, everything that you see, not just the mountain, is affected by refraction. So everything that you see, the light coming from it only has to bend by 2 degrees for it to appear higher than you would expect.
Okay, but that still don't explain why there's not, there should be shadow. The shadow should reflect that, block that light out. Shadow. Well, there's always a shadow. There's light.
Shadow.
Wanders off something, and the main source of light that's coming one direction is going to cast a shadow. Ain't that how the moon goes through its phases? The Earth.
Shadows
are. If there's light coming from the sun in space and around stars, which we never see on NASA. Now, if there's light coming from the sun, and there's nothing to stop the sunlight, and it's lighting the moon up, how come the moon is lit? Don't illuminate the moon. It's not lit. If light on Earth can illuminate what ain't lit and bring things to our vision. Same, we got to look through the same atmosphere.
Right. So
light works the same.
So shadows are also refracted because shadows are just an absence of light that's been blocked. So the outline, which is the light that you see, is still refracted. So the shadows that are created are also refracted because it's still light that is coming to your eyes. Everything that you see you see it because the light has traveled a path to come to your eyes. And when the light goes through something like our atmosphere, it changes the path. You don't see things where they actually are. We see the refracted position of it, a virtual position of things. Everything that we look at through the atmosphere has traveled to us and had some kind of refractive effects applied to it. So just looking at it and going, well, here's the numbers, and it doesn't match, doesn't work because you have to take into account the physics of what is going on with the light.
You was in the Navy, right?
Yes, I was a nuclear engineer in the Royal Navy.
Did you ever shoot one of the guns? You ever target one of the guns?
I fired many guns,
yes. Before they had the radar, they would look through their sights, their scopes, whatever they called them on there, the high-powered sights,
Yeah, that's not how you target things just by doing that. When you target things, you take into account... Yeah, but when you target things with a big gun, you take into account many things like the weather, the refractive conditions, the Coriolis effect. You don't just look at it and fire. You surely know that there is a whole bunch of things that the firing solution center has to do before it sends that targeting data to the gun, right?
No. You say there, then you shoot. You hit it, but you look to the left. Then you move up to the left.
No, that's certainly not when you're firing massive machinery on a Navy warship. The firing solution center gives those details to the gun. You don't just look at something and fire. All of the effects that need to be taken into account are taken into account by the firing solution center before they're taken to the gun.
In 1870, when was it made? Might have been made in the 1850s. The Mosin Nagant 9130. It was accurate to 1,000 meters with the old 1850 model scope. They didn't open no book for Coriolis. They just out.
What was accurate to 1,000 meters? Sorry,
1,000 Rush Mosin Nagant. It was the longest made military rifle. It's the longest made cartridge in military history. China took that
like snipers take. Yeah, 1 kilometer isn't that far. 1 kilometer, there's not many effects that you take into account. Snipers that fire over a kilometer. Hold on 1 second, sir. 1 second, please. Snipers that fire over a kilometer actually have to take into account many factors, such as the Coriolis and things like that to be able to get an accurate shot. I can present to you I can. Yeah, and you mentioned 1 kilometer. That's not very far. Over 1 kilometer, the speed the bullet's traveling, the effects aren't that much.
The bare eye in a 1850, maybe an 1800.
With all due respect, sir.
Technology.
Sir, with all due respect, you aren't actually listening to what I'm saying. That they didn't fire far enough. But hold on,
due respect, listen to what I'm saying. 1800s technology, early to mid 1800s technology.
But they didn't fire far enough. They didn't fire. You're not listening.
And pow.
Sir, can you listen for 1 sec? Can you listen? Can you listen for 1 sec? Yeah. Right. Can you listen for 1 sec? Right. Can you listen? All right. Stop. Can you stop 1 second? Just 1 second. Right. So the guns you're talking about, they fired about 800 yards at the most. And at those distances, you don't need to take into account Coriolis because the effect is so minuscule. Modern weapons that fire much, much further have to take into account things like the Coriolis and the curvature of the Earth. Otherwise, they don't hit their target. Wait, let me finish. Have you ever fired a large gun attached to a warship?
Have you ever fired an 1870 model rifle?
Yeah, you obviously didn't. Once again, have you ever... So I asked you a very specific question. Have you ever fired Sir, please listen. Have you ever fired a large gun attached to a warship?
Now, you
sir, with all due respect, I'm not doing anything that couldn't be classed as humble. I'm pointing out to you that the technology that you are talking about didn't fire far enough for these effects to be taken into account. Modern weapons that fire much further do take that into account. The weapon that you're talking about had a range of about 800 yards, not 1,000 meters.
Hold on.
Sorry, guys, I've changed the settings. The buffering should be sorted.
This is not the sniper. This.
Yeah, and that does not fire a kilometer. No, it does not fire 1,000 meters.
Hold on. Let me,
that weapon fires about 800 yards at the most.
Did you hear? Now look, can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I'm just pointing out that weapon doesn't fire as far as you're claiming.
Will you let me tell you about my very own rifle, or do you want to tell me about my very own?
Well, I obviously know more about it than you. For instance, I know the distance it fires.
Dude. Now I said when I came in here, this was a short rifle. This is a carbine. See, you're telling me about my rifle, and you have no clue about my rifle.
No, I do. I know everything about that rifle. I'm a rifle buff.
Dude. Okay, what's the serial number? Has it got the sticky bolt? Do you know about the sticky bolt in the Mosin?
Yeah, I do. But that rifle does not fire as far as you've claimed.
You do not.
Yeah. So just to be clear, I want you to understand this point. 1 sec. Please don't interrupt. Please don't ever talk me. 1 second. I'm trying to be respectful, sir. If you could just listen 1 second. Sir, if you could just give me 1 second, please.
Hold on.
If you could just give me 1 second, please. I'm trying to be polite. If you could just give me 1 second.
I'm going to say something to the crowd. This is, you can speak as soon as I cut you back on. Hold on. Let me say something to the crowd. I'll unmute you. Then I'll let you go on your tangent. Now.
No, I'm not going on a tangent. I would just like to say one thing, please.
I can't even talk to the crowd. Let's entertain the crowd.
Well, let me get my point out, and then you can talk to the crowd.
You see, I've given him time to talk.
Yeah. I'm being polite, sir. I'm just trying to politely ask something, if that's okay.
To the crowd, sir. Now, let's let people talk.
Yeah, you absolutely should let people talk. Yes, you should.
Talking to the crowd. This is not just your crowd. This is
like
not
the 3 people watching on your channel. I'm sure want to hear what you're saying. Yes.
Look, you might desire these views and likes.
I'm being perfectly polite, sir. You keep interrupting me.
I don't like the views. I don't care. I want people. You say you ain't a belief in God. I'm respecting your beliefs. But you're trying.
No, I don't have a belief. The
Let
opposite of
me
beliefs.
finish. If people come by here and watch,
Right.
they
Please
might
feel
not
free
be
to
as
finish
much as
your
you.
rant, so then we get back to the conversation.
I do not draw circus shows. I want people to come here and hear the truth. Now, when I'm exposing the Christians of their hypocrisy, showing them they're no different than y'all. Now, you can go on about your rant, but you're going to stop.
I didn't rant. I've been polite.
Dude, you need to, if you think this is polite.
Oh, I've been very polite, asking you very politely if I can speak.
To shut up while you interrupt me? That's
Well,
polite.
you kept interrupting me, but anyway. So what rifle do you have?
I got the 1953 Mosin Nagant. It's what was it?
1953. What's the model? Sorry, 1953. What?
Model 44, model 41. You're breaking up bad.
Is it the M40? Is it the M41 you've got?
M44, something like that. Yeah, it's a carbine attached bayonet. The bolt is the only thing with a different serial number. It's got marks on it where it came from either Vietnam or Korea.
Yeah, but what is the name of the gun? What is the name of the rifle?
It's a Mosin Nagant.
Mosin Nagant. I don't know how to spell that. Could you spell that for me, please?
Yeah, Chinese made.
Yeah, could you spell it for me, please?
You want a dumb hit spell for you?
Yes, I do. M-O... slowly start again.
M-A-Z-A-N-T.
Sorry, you broke up. Start again. M-A-Z...
M-O-Z-I-N... M-O-Z-I-N...
Yeah, so if you could just do it calmly from the beginning. Did you say M-A-Z?
Mosin. M-O-Z-I-N. I'm giving your people something to laugh at.
Mosin. Yeah, next. So M-O-Z-I-N. Is that what you said?
No, I said M-O-Z-I-N.
Z, yeah. M-O-Z-I-N. And the next bit. Spell the next bit for me.
Nagant. N-A.
Yeah.
G.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
N.
Okay, man's gone range, so let me just check this. There we go. Right,
you know all about it, but I got to spell it so you can look it up.
Yeah, so just double check. So what did you claim the range of it was?
The 9130,000 meters.
No, like I said, it's 800 yards, about 500 meters. The maximum effective firing range up to 850 meters. However, accuracy significantly reduces. So it's strange that I was right about the rifle and you were wrong, considering you're the one with it.
Hold on a minute. Now, you got to speak, right? Am I going to get a chance to speak? And
I've said a little bit. I've said one thing, which was pointing out how... No, you're interrupting me again. I just want to point out to everyone how he's interrupting me when I'm speaking.
Okay,
everyone can see he's interrupting me. Yeah, thank you. So, all I'm doing is pointing out how you are wrong about your own rifle when you claim it can fire 1,000 meters. It cannot.
Dude, now, can I talk now?
Yeah, fine. As long as you understand that point.
Okay. Hush. Let me complete.
You could speak to me like an adult. Please don't hush me.
Just listen to what I got to say.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Now look, you're reading from a site what they say.
I'm reading from the manufacturer. Yes. Yeah.
Have you from the manufacturer?
The people that make those guns. Yes. Yeah. According to the people that make those guns, they have an effective firing range of 450 to 500 meters, with a maximum firing range of 850 meters with significantly reduced accuracy. There is no way you'd be able to hit a target at 1,000 meters with that gun. Simply impossible. The bullet wouldn't be traveling fast enough.
Oh, it's my turn?
Well, I did stop talking, yes. That's how conversations work. You wait for one person to finish, and then the next person goes on. Now, as I finished, yes, absolutely, it's your turn.
What's funny is, while you were talking, it was supposed to be my turn to talk, but yet you interrupted me, but I digress. Now,
Hashtag got a lot of proof. Have I ever what, sorry?
Have you ever spoken to people that has shot in the 9130? No, you're reading from the manufacturer, not the people who actually go out and do the work with them.
Yeah, those
That's
people
your
wouldn't
problem.
fire at 1,000
learn
meters
before you
because it
dare.
wouldn't work. That gun
Dude,
does not fire
you gotta
1,000
look it
meters.
up.
It simply doesn't fire 1,000 meters.
Okay, you get to read from a site, right?
The manufacturer, the people that make the gun, I'm going to listen to them rather than somebody that didn't know the range of his own gun. Yes.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I was supposed to be talking, but now, Chevrolet,
You asked me a question, I responded.
that horsepower. Yeah, but see, I was supposed to be talking, and you wasn't even supposed to be.
If you ask me a question, I'm going to
I'll listen.
respond. That's how conversations work in general.
No, usually, you said it was my turn to talk, and then you kept talking.
Yeah, but you asked me a question. So when you ask a question, the other person answers. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask a question.
Why do I have to ask a question if it was my turn to be talking? You shouldn't even been talking for me to
Well,
ask you a
if you
question.
don't want,
Now let me.
well, make sure you don't ask any questions, and I won't respond.
Can I talk?
I'm not stopping you.
Keep it that way. Now, you say you don't listen to the manufacturer, and that's
Yes.
your proof. Chevrolet back in the 60s, 70s, the LS6 Chevelle, oh, it's got 300, maybe 400 horsepower, 450 horsepower. Manufacturer said 450 horsepower. You know what they dynoed them at? 550. You know why? So the people that got them from the manufacturer said they 450 horsepower, carried them to a dyno. The people that actually bought them and used them, wow, they underestimate these cars from the factory.
Yeah.
The manufacturer said 400.
Good question.
No, you don't ask a question. I'm not done talking. Remember, I ain't asked no question yet.
Oh, sorry. Please carry on rambling.
The manufacturer said 450 horsepower. The ones that actually bought them and used
Tetra.
them,
That's what I'm getting to.
550.
So I just want to be clear.
Manufacturer says
Oh
that.
no, you're still talking, right?
Just let me be clear. I'm not done talking. The
Okay, no,
people
sorry.
that buy them guns, the people that buy them guns, go out and pop 1,050 yard shots.
No, they don't.
And you're going to say that they can't shoot 1,000? It's a
No.
free MOA at 1,050 yards.
No, they don't. So just to be clear, just so
You
you're
never
aware, you might not be aware of this, but just so you are aware, cars aren't guns, and you don't compare the two. Okay, cool story. So anyway, even if... Oh no, it's my turn to talk. It's my turn to... no, it's my turn to talk right now. I haven't said your commercial. I haven't finished. I let you talk for about 9 years. It's now my turn.
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm not holding on. It's now my turn to talk. You stay there and listen. Oh, he's gone away. I'll wait till he comes back then. Kyle for $5 says,
I can sit here and hear you since you're going to prove what I say to you people. I'm going to roll a cigarette while you continue talking. I can hear you. I can see you. You can see me.
Kyle for $5 says, thanks for what you do, Craig. You and Toon keep me company during some lonely days at work. Right, anyway, PigSlapper, or even if it doesn't, but even... Oh no, you interrupt. I got 5 words in. I got 5 words in and you interrupted. Amazing. Good job there, bud. Even if... it doesn't, but even if that gun fired 1,000 meters, that's irrelevant. 1,000 meters, as I explained, 1 kilometer, is not far enough to take into effects like the Coriolis. They'd be so minuscule over that distance, it wouldn't make a difference. That's why, when snipers fire over 1 kilometer, they take into account the Coriolis. It is in their manuals. It is how they hit their shots. The world... the world championships, the professionals, the ones that actually do it for sport, use Coriolis and take it into account when they're firing over 1 kilometer. So to be clear, over 1 kilometer, you 100% have to take the Coriolis into account, and your gun does not fire over 600 meters.
Well, you just said it shot 800 meters. Now you're contradicting yourself.
Maybe you didn't listen to what I said. Maybe you didn't listen to what I said. An effective range of 450 to 500, a maximum range of 850 with significantly reduced accuracy. So we will talk about the effective range, which is between 4 to 500. Okay?
This is so fun, dude.
Oh yeah, displaying idiots to the world is always fun. You're right.
Dude, really? You know, you're trying what Flat Joy did.
Oh, I'm not being anything like Flat
I
Joy.
went over that. Remember, told you. Remember? Yeah, you are. Now, remember I told you I don't want this to turn into a train wreck?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
And
so
here we go. And here we go. You're trying to direct the engine off on.
Oh no. So I've been tried to be completely polite, and you've constantly interrupted me and talked down to me. So you are the one deciding how this goes. Right. So anyway, you're wrong about the guns. What's your next bit of evidence that the Earth is flat and stationary?
Well, I was going to let you continue digging your hole. If you want to continue talking, I'm about done with this here. I'm going to bring it over and smoke it. So
well, no, I'm done debunking your gun nonsense. What's your next bit of evidence?
So you ain't listening to the man. You're listening to a person you've never seen on a website instead of people actually shoot these guns. Ranges you say they're 3 MOA at 1,050 yards.
Anyway, what's your next bit of evidence that you've got that the Earth is flat and stationary?
Let's move on after your first.
No, I didn't know. I explained how wrong you were using physics.
You just avoid everything that proves you wrong. That's how you people
Well, no,
are.
I explained how you were wrong using physics and explaining how up to 1 kilometer is irrelevant. But you obviously ignored all the words that were said and only heard the things that you wanted to. Standard flat Earth. Again, what is your next bit of evidence that the Earth is flat and stationary as you failed with the first one?
You read from a site what you was told.
Yeah. Move on. Next bit. What is your next bit of evidence? We're done with the guns. You've lost that one. We're moving on.
I'm telling you what people that actually use the things do with them.
And I'm telling you that's irrelevant.
Irrelevant to what people say they do?
Hey, dude, just so you're aware, you're talking to a marksman. Okay, next bit of evidence, please.
A marksman?
Yes.
So
I mean, the qualifications probably ran out now since I wasn't in the Navy for the past 20 years. But when I was in the Navy, I was a marksman.
Good for you. You know, I can pop things with a gun just as good, probably better. I just wasn't going to sell my soul to the government to use me as a murder machine. Now,
yeah, you're too scared to serve. I understand.
Too scared to serve, dude. You don't know nothing about life.
Anyway, so what is your next bit of evidence? Yes.
Okay, we're still on this. We're not done with this.
Oh, I explained to you about refraction. Did you understand everything I told you about refraction?
You read from a book a man wrote. You've never seen.
No, I've tested refraction. I've actually tested refractive effects. Refraction is a thing that exists. Yeah, I have. I've done it many times. Refraction is a thing that exists. Do you understand that?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go there.
So whenever you talk about anything like this, you need to include the refractive conditions that you are talking about. Otherwise, it's completely irrelevant and pointless on a straw man.
I told you, but you completely glossed over.
No, you didn't. You said it was slightly warm. That's not telling me the refractive effects, is it?
What I was looking at, it's obvious. Your math fails. You're saying it reflects.
No, it doesn't. You need to take into account the refractive effects. You did not take into account the refractive effects.
Have you ever seen something appear from behind? No,
yes.
Here's the hill. Here's the mountain.
Yeah.
They're going to make that mountain appear flat.
Yeah.
If the math proves it ain't.
Yeah, that's how refraction
physics
works.
Prove it ain't. Common sense proves it ain't. The light, dude. If you're saying it brings it straight up, it would carry it straight out because we're on a curve. Ain't it going to move 90 degrees from the surface? How come everything moves toward the top? Now,
because that's how refraction works. Your ignorance of refraction is irrelevant to the discussion. Right, until you are aware... right, no, stop 1 sec. Until you're aware of the physics of refraction, you're not qualified for this part of the discussion, and you should move on to something else.
Okay, have you ever built a house?
I've built many buildings.
Have you ever built? Have you
I've not specifically built a house. I have built many buildings.
Okay.
I am... maybe you don't know. I did explain this at the
Well,
beginning. I am an engineer.
You was trained.
Not only
Now,
trained, but
you've never
actually
built
was
a
an
house.
engineer in the Royal Navy and with a wind farm company. I am an engineer. Are you an engineer?
Boy, them windmills are flat failures.
No, they're not windmills.
You was part of that. You said you was part of a windmill something.
No, I said I was part of a
So if
wind
they're
farm
not windmills,
company.
what are they?
I was a project developer for
Wind
Enertrag
farm.
UK and helped create the infrastructure
And-
for wind farms in Scotland.
And wind farms require windmills.
No, they require turbines, not
And you-
windmills.
And what is the powering operation to these turbines, and what does the wind use to push against this turbine to make it spin? What
It
is it?
creates, do you not know how turbines work? They create a high pressure on one side
Yeah.
of the blade because of the shape of the blade, which makes it rotate.
And it looks like a windmill, don't it?
Well, no, because a windmill is something that mills things in a big stone building. These are turbines.
Oh! So these things they plant out in California, these wind farms with these three-bladed devices that turn a turbine when the wind blows against them that we call windmills, ain't windmills.
No, they're not called windmills. They're called turbines. Get it right.
So it's the name. So it's the same thing, just a different name.
No, they're
Can
not
you-
the same thing.
can
It
you
doesn't.
bring up
They
a
don't
picture
mill
of it?
anything. Windmills mill corn into flour. Wind turbines convert rotational energy to electrical energy.
Thank you. We're going to move
Right,
on.
but
I'm gonna tell you
anyway,
this.
I'm going to answer your question about have you ever seen something come up from behind a hill? Yes, I have, and I'm going to show it to you now. So bear with me. Present, share screen.
Oh, that's funny right there. You see here? Oh, it's not a windmill. It's a wind turbine.
Yeah, they're different
What's it
things.
look like? A
Yes.
windmill.
No, it doesn't look like a windmill. It looks like a turbine. Right. So you see the screen? Yeah.
You think we actually use stone wheels to mill our grain over here?
That's what a windmill is. I never said that you do. I said that's what a windmill is. Are you okay?
I'm
Right.
enjoying this. I told you I was
Anyway,
going to have fun with
do you see what I'm showing you on screen? Yes.
Hold on, let me say. I'm gonna make sure.
Do
it ain't
you
some
see
sick
what I
crap.
am showing you on the screen? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
Well, please
explain
look
exactly
at
what
it.
looks like.
Are you seeing the screen I am presenting to you? Yes or no?
I see a piece of lattice on the ground.
Right, excellent. Okay, this is evidence that things come up from behind hills with refraction. I want you to look at this can with bits of plasticine on it and pay attention to the colours. At the top there is, I'd say that's turquoise. In the middle there's red, and below that there's yellow. Do you agree with those statements?
If you say so.
Right, we're going to move on slightly and have a look at where they positioned the camera. Now, here we go. Would you agree that with this position of the camera, you can only see the turquoise part of the plasticine, even though we have shown that on that can there is turquoise, red and yellow? Do you agree that at this point we only see the turquoise? Yes? You agree?
Let's go back to that picture where. Hold on. Go back to the picture where you show all the colors.
All right, back to the picture where we show all the colors. Here we go. Wait 1 sec. Get to the right point. Right, Right, there we go. So there's all the colours.
Okay,
turquoise, red, and yellow. Yes. You see those?
Why does the platform look like it's on a table? It looks flat. It don't look round.
That's irrelevant.
It looks flat.
Yeah.
No, it is not either. No, it is not either.
Maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't jump the gun and look that dumb. Pay attention to what's going on. So you agree that there is a green. You agree there is turquoise, red, and yellow. Turquoise at the top, red and yellow below it. Now, what he does is he goes behind this gas canister, which is round. Yes. And the only bit.
That's round.
Yeah.
That is round.
So here we go. Now stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking and pay attention. Right. So you agree. You agree that the gas canister. You agree that the tin with the plasticine on is behind something that is round, as though it is over the curve of the Earth. Yes.
Am I going to get to answer this?
Well, it's a yes or no question. Do you agree that it is the equivalent of something being over the curve of the Earth because it is hidden by this curved gas canister? Yes?
There's one thing I will agree with. That gas canister looks actually round. The
Right.
other part didn't. When you took me to a
Well, yeah, that's irrelevant. The thing that is sitting on is irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
Yeah, it is. What we're looking at
No,
is
it
this
ain't.
round gas canister. We're looking at the round gas canister and the fact that
Now.
the tin with the plasticine on is hidden behind the curve of the gas canister. Do you agree with those statements?
I will agree with what we saw at the beginning was on a flat surface, and what I see here is on a round.
Right. Pay attention to what I am saying to you. Do you agree that the
Pay attention
red...
to what I just said.
You're not listening. You're interrupting. It's going to be very hard for you to pay attention when you're interrupting. Okay? Do you agree that the red and yellow parts of plasticine are hidden behind the curve of the gas canister? Yes or no?
If you want me to agree to a deception, I'm not doing it.
There's no deception. Is
I
the
can't.
yellow and red parts of the plasticine hidden behind the curve of that gas canister? Yes or no?
What I see is a deception trying to be pulled. People ain't paying enough attention to detail like I did Maggie and proved Maggie was false too.
Right.
You're trying to pull off
It's a
deception.
yes or no
That's
question.
purpose.
Are the yellow and...
Right.
Right, I'm gonna play it so you can watch what happens. Look where the red and yellow parts are,
Right.
and look what he does. He hides them. No, stop talking and listen. Stop talking.
That was a cool.
Stop.
No.
Right. Look what he does. He hides the gas canister. He hides the canister with the plasticine on behind the curve of this big gas canister. So now at this point, the yellow and red are hidden behind the curve of this gas canister. That is a fact. Do
That's
you
right.
agree with that fact?
I'll agree with the fact where the camera is.
There we go. You
where
agree
I
with the
would be
fact.
standing.
You agree with the fact
No,
that the yellow and red
no.
plasticine are hidden behind the curve of the gas canister. Everybody can see that the
I will
yellow and
agree
red
with the fact.
plasticine
I
are
will agree
hidden.
with the
Shut up,
fact
I'm
that
talking.
I was where
Be
the
quiet,
camera
I'm
is,
talking.
not
Be
with
quiet,
the
I am
big
talking.
body.
Be
I
quiet,
should not
I
see
am
that.
talking. Old
The
man,
red,
be
the
quiet, I am
plastic stuff,
talking.
I should not see
Old
that.
man, be quiet, I am
What
talking.
Trying to prove your point.
Be mad, old man, be quiet, I am talking. This is your turn to shut up and listen and be a good boy and try and behave. Now, everybody watching can see that the yellow and red plasticine are hidden behind the curve of that gas canister. What we are going to do is change the refractive conditions and make the bits that are hidden appear above the curve, exactly as refraction does. Now, please watch and pay attention. I know it's hard in your meth-addled state, but please do try. Ladies and gentlemen, what he is doing here is called the laugh of stupidity and incredulity. It's a common defense mechanism of fucking idiots. Here we go, changing the refractive conditions by altering the density of the air, and watch what happens. The bits that are hidden... Oh look, there they are! Oh, whoa, hold on. Where did that red come from? That's hidden behind the curve. But you change the refractive conditions and boom! The bit that's hidden, it didn't get moved. All that happened is the path of light changed. When the path of light changed, you can see the red that was hidden. Whether or not you agree with this is irrelevant, but it's clear at this point that your brain has been too ruined by meth to even engage in a proper conversation. So from now on, you get FTFE because that's how you've decided how this goes, you absolute fucking moron.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something right now.
No, you're not. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to keep interrupting you from now on. No, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to interrupt you and keep talking.
I'm going to big screen that, dude.
I just keep on muting myself now. You don't get to talk. You don't get to now have nice Craig. You have gone past that point. You now get FTFE. There we go. Flerf rage quit. Well, that was fun. The old man is incapable of having a discussion, listening, responding, or paying attention. So I just FTFE'd him. It was quite fun, actually. That's how you make a rage quit happen, by treating them the way that they treat you. I hope everybody can see exactly what happened here. Everybody can see that I was polite and nice and pleasant, trying to engage, trying to answer questions, trying to, have a back and forth. But he didn't let that happen. He had to overtalk, whine, complain, pretend that I was the one doing those things. I gave him many chances until I decided, no, I'm just not playing his fucking stupid game anymore. He now gets FTFE. He couldn't cope with that because he didn't like the fact that I would give him back what he gave me. And because I did that, he rage quit like a big fucking baby. Caucasian Sensation member for 34 months says, this guy should be a politician. He answers questions without actually answering questions. Shake my head. What an ass. I know, it was fun. PhD Tony, only real man in the room, $5. Quite famously, I have previously pointed out that your guest is a fucking idiot. And that's being uncharitable to idiots. Yeah, I know. You're not wrong. He's a fucking idiot. Your part. Oh, I did enjoy the pork chops with that one. Capulus HVH, $2 Australian says, victory! Victory screech. Woo! Oh, well, there we go, guys. A nice, early, easy one today. Remember, treat people how they treat you. It's fine. If someone's an absolute dick to you, like that guy was to me, then you have my permission to use your inner FTFE on that person. You can be polite and try to engage in conversation as much as you want. However, people like that are too dumb and unself-aware to realize that they are the fucking problem in these conversations. Oh no, Dave McKeegan, I didn't need... I knew he was an idiot, but I like to give anybody a chance to prove that they can at least attempt to engage in a proper conversation. I know, Jared. But that gun is not going to hit anyone at that point. That's the thing. Oh well. Thanks for watching, guys. Obviously not as many here as normal because it's a different time, and most of the Americans are probably asleep or something, and you're probably mostly UK here today. So hello, my home country. Nice to see you here. I very much appreciate the support. Later on today, PhD Tony, you're unwell again. I'm very sorry to hear that, bud. I hope that you can get better. Later on today, myself and MC Toon are going on to Jim Brewer's YouTube channel. It's not going to be live. I think they're recording it and then we'll edit it and post up and stuff. I am going to record it and release the recording for my members. And then once we get the proper version of it, I'll release that for everybody. I'm looking forward to that. Dave Weiss Dearth went on Jim Brewer's channel recently and did a bunch of lies. So I'm gonna, attack his lies with MC Toon, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then tomorrow I've got another debate. Thursday I got a debate. Friday I got a debate. Saturday I got a debate. Lots of FTFE for you. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. Why don't we, do what we always do and ask the important questions, like, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are a bit like shooting stars?
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible.
No one, Mr. Sensible.
When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere in page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need to ask the burying Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognize the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe your musical assault knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realize you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit
Can we
loop short of
pretend
a
that
full bowl.
airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I rinse up on your mom's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you taught a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Thank you for watching, everybody. That's been a lot of fun. Daniel Seamaster for $2 says, meth. It's one hell of a drug. BigPigSlapper Oink displays that in bounds. Yeah, so just to be clear, later on, it's not going to be live. You won't be able to see me today on talking to Jim Brewer. It's going to be, it's a recording session with me and Jim and Toon as well, which I'm going to record on my end and then release to members probably maybe later today or tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it later tonight. But then obviously we're getting an edited version and stuff, which I'll release to everyone a few days later. Looking forward to it. Yeah, but apart from that, thank you very much for watching, guys. I love every single one of you. Just, you know, not you, Gary. Remember that stupidity's not right. Fight the flat.
Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.
Hi, my name is Nathan Oakley, and I have been lying to people about the Earth being flat for a lot of years. I did this to hide the fact I have a small penis.
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.
Level. 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 Level.